What's up, YouTube? How's everybody doing? You guys doing all right? I hope so. And if not, well, I hope it gets better. Anyways, we're on the way to go look at helmets, because the one I'm wearing right now is a large, and it's kind of snug to my cheeks, and my face cheeks, not my butt cheeks. But I want to get, or potentially just try on an extra large, or maybe a large of a different brand and see, or maybe an XL of the Sidisi, which is what I'm wearing now, just because this one's really tight on my face. And yeah, I thought after, a year or so I would be able to, like, it would be fully broke in, but it feels like it hasn't really moved. And I've worn it a lot, like, and I've got 10k miles on this helmet, so yeah, it's just me rolling the helmet down the road for 10k miles, you know what I'm saying? But I've ridden a lot of miles in this helmet, so we're gonna get out before this guy. I would have expected it to break in now, with being in the rain at least a dozen times and being sweated in more than that, so figured the padding would break in a little bit, but it is not, so I want to go look. But I want to talk about today, just kind of briefly go over the stigma behind motorcycles, and that's mainly just like explaining, like, when someone comes up to you and they're like, wow, you must have a death wish on that thing, don't you know those things are really unsafe and blah 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 blah, and or I had a friend and that friend's brother's uncle, cousin, sister's boyfriend's family member passed away on a motorcycle, and truthfully no one ever wants to talk about. It's like it's unfortunate to happen, don't get me wrong, no one wants to hear that a loved one passed away or anything like that. That's never fun. But the thing that I think no one talks about is, why did they crash, or what did they do that was so life-threatening? Now, there are those scenarios where, a car wasn't paying attention, they experienced an unintentional blindness, and which, if you don't know what that is, it's essentially just like when you're in a car, you're not looking for motorcycles, you're looking for cars and trucks and other things of bigger size. You're not really paying attention, because from far away in a car, if they're going to turn out, we're like a speck to them compared to the size of a car. So plus you only see this much of us. But anyway, if there was a car that experienced unintentional blindness and hit a bike, or pulled out in front and the bike was going too fast or something, there's always a factor, because I think majority of accidents can be what's the word I'm looking for, can be kind of avoided, just because, like, right there, that car was kind of aggressive coming over a couple lanes, but if I was going fast and splitting traffic, it would have been an issue. But as of right now, it's not. Just roll off the throttle and then get back in it. So I think the thing that no one talks about is, in these situations, it's like, where's the why? Why did this happen? Is it truly because somebody pulled out in front of them, or was it because they were doing 180 in a 35 and that car never saw them when they pulled out? There's a big room for the why, and no, I don't think anybody ever talks about the why, and that's, I think, what needs to be talked about more in scenarios when we're talking about motorcycle accidents and stuff. I wasn't really trying to talk about motorcycle stigmas, or I was trying to talk about motorcycle stigmas and not motorcycle accidents, but it looks like that's kind of where my tone is going. But I think majority of the time no one talks about the why. Is it because they entered in there, or they went down a road too fast that they didn't know, and there was a blind corner and they weren't prepared for it, and they were going way too fast that even a MotoGP rider couldn't take that corner at, and they just ended up in the trees because they were unskilled and ignorant to the fact that they didn't know what they were doing? Or did someone actually try and run them off the road? I mean, there's a million scenarios that have happened and will happen and continue to happen, but no one talks about why those things happen. Because if I go right now at 120 down the middle of these cars, which is not legal in this state. If you go flying through the center of these cars and a car like that cuts across because they think they have room and they never saw you come between these two cars and you hit them, it's your fault. It's your fault 100%. You shouldn't have been doing it, and you knew what was going to happen. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, because everybody does. I mean, traffic like this, we're going like 4 over. Just doesn't feel very fast on a motorcycle after you get used to it, and you're like, oh man, we're not going anywhere, we're not doing anything. So you do tend to sometimes get up and you're like, oh well, let me just maneuver through traffic. You're not necessarily splitting, but you're just working your way through traffic, you know. And that tends to happen, is something like that will occur when you're splitting and a car comes over, and it's like it's only legal in California, dude. And we see somebody wrecked in like Ohio because they were splitting at 120, which I mean, come on now. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that that's wrong, and you shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. But I'm not advocating for either side here. I'm just simply stating that, you know, no one talks about why they crashed. Typically, all you see is motorcycle died, motorcycle accident, fatal motorcycle accident. That's all it is. It's never inexperienced rider or car, whatever. Even if the car is at fault, it's always going to be motorcycle died, motorcycle crash. It's always going to be the bike's fault. If you made it this far in the video, go type biker's fault underneath just to troll people in the comments. I'll make sure I heart react to every single one of them. But anyway, so that was a rock. Oh, that hurt. That was bouncing off my foot boot. That hurted it. But you know, I feel like if we were to talk about the why more, then we would be a little bit safer, and then people wouldn't have as much of a stigma for bikes as they do, you know. So because the stigma is either that's where I was going with this. Look, it all circles back eventually. It comes back to the stigma. The stigma is either you have a death wish, or you want to be a Billy Badass, and that's just what they see, because the media, or at least Hollywood and stuff like that, all it does is associate motorcycles with the villain. The villain gets away on the bike, or the outlaws that are on their Harleys, and they have a big Harley group, and they're super bad boy, you know. That's just the movies. I mean, look at Ghost Rider. He's the bad guy. I mean, technically he's a vigilante, but you know, whatever. Stop being a nerd, Cam, freaking idiot. Anyway, but you know, it's not ever really a good like stigma that comes with motorcycle riding. It's 90% of the time negative. I mean, you hear more from people saying things like about movies and accidents and stuff before you ever hear anyone say like, oh, like the racing, like motorcycle racing. You will never hear that unless it's from somebody who has ridden motorcycles, because it's hard to explain the feeling of and sense of freedom that comes with being on a motorcycle to somebody that's never ridden one. You can't. It's like the saying, you can lead a horse to water but you can't make him drink. I'd say it's similar to that, because I can tell you anything and everything about motorcycles, but I still have not glued this grip. I need to do that. I can tell you anything and everything about motorcycles, that doesn't mean you can like it or have to like it, you know, or even understand it. I'm in a blind spot, but I think we need to talk about more positive things. Like you are more apt to see an advertisement for something regarding not necessarily advertisement, but you're more apt to see something like a motorcycle accident post or video or something versus a positive track riding experience, training, or any sort of thing like that. Like, you don't really hear the MSF even associated. Like, the people who ride motorcycles, 90% of them don't have their license, and they're all like, well, as long as you run and you don't get caught, or in my opinion, don't do anything stupid, you won't get pulled over. But you know, whatever. But you know, as something as simple as the MSF, I took the one in the Harley Davidson, which we didn't even use Harleys. We used Benelli 300s that were Harley branded with some stickers. But I'm not quite done talking. We'll take this sideway. We'll go this way, even though Cycle Gear is like right up there, but we're not gonna talk about it. Anyways, oh man, it looks like it might rain. It looks like it might rain, would we, because of the freaking clouds. I hate that shit so much. Please never do that again. Anyway, I lost my train of thought, damn it. I messed myself up. Oh, there's a police. There's a police. Anyway, you don't even hear other riders promoting safety or track days or proper training or anything, honestly. Like, low-key, I really want to get into track riding, and I want to learn how to do it on the 500 because it's a perfect bike to learn on based off the short wheelbase, the fact it doesn't weigh a lot, doesn't have a whole lot of power. It's basically the perfect beginner bike to learn on track. I mean, and even on the straightaways, I doubt you get much over 100, honestly. You probably just be chilling with the other 400s and stuff that are on track. But you know, I want to get into the track riding and stuff, but I think the issue is like, if you're not looking, you're not gonna find it, if that makes sense. Like, I was hoping the more I would talk about it, I would get like advertisements for like a track school or a track day or something like that, but I don't really. So I know that there's a lot here, and well, I say a lot, I know that close by we have CMP, which is Carolina Motorsports Park, which is not far from where we're at. It's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, depending. But point being, they have track days and stuff all the time, but I have no clue when they are or anything. Granted, I haven't looked, but that's my point. Like, there's not a, it's one of those things, is if you're not into it, you don't know, if that kind of makes sense. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I don't know. I think we should promote safety, but I also am a big advocate for fun. Like, if everyone knew counter steering and proper riding, and they taught the MSF on a class, and maybe it was a week-long course, and they take you from not knowing how to be not knowing anything about motorcycles to being able to put down lap times, I think that would be super cool. And it would even be beneficial for like cruiser riders and stuff, because you don't have to necessarily ride the track aggressive to understand how your bike needs to react into a corner and stuff, because there's things that the MSF won't teach you because they don't go out on the street. It's just parking lot maneuvers and stuff, and granted, that stuff is very useful. I thought I knew a lot about how to maneuver my bike and stuff, but the low speed stuff really put me on my ass and humbled me a little bit, and was like, hey, you need to learn this stuff. And like, I struggled so hard doing that U-turn in that little box. I don't know why. I've never had to do a U-turn that freaking tight before, but that was like doing a U-turn in a one lane, dude. Like, just turn around in this. That was hard. I don't care. That was not easy, at least for me. Now, I know I came through here earlier, and there was a little bit of dirt up on the road up here. But I don't know. I guess that's just kind of where my head's at right now. Is I feel like we should be promoting more track days and stuff. Give people that want to ride fast the opportunity to learn to truthfully go fast, because this back road stuff, damn, I need to tighten that mirror again, dude. This back road stuff will teach you a lot, but if you're doing it wrong, and you continue to do it wrong, then you're not going to learn anything. I still have a million things I need to learn when it comes to riding, even just on the street. I would love to learn more, and I definitely will at some point, but currently not in the cards. I need to get a suit, all that other stuff. So, but anyway, I rambled for a little bit. We talked about accidents and kind of the bad stigma around motorcycles and whatnot. Anyway, just a little rant video. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching to the end. If you did watch all the way to the end, thank you. You're great. I love you. You're a real one. You a OG. Dab me up. Oh, that's okay. I wouldn't do it either. Anyway, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. And hopefully we'll have some detailing vids up soon. I don't know if you guys are interested in that, but I just did a full detail on a 2500 Chevy, a big new truck, and it's black, so you know, we take that paint and make it look like a mirror. Love it so much. But and I think I got one lined up for a SS Camaro that should be pretty nice. It's a 2010, it's a 5th gen. It's super nice. Manual, 6-speed, cam, all that cool stuff. So I want to do a detail on that. Probably won't do a paint correction because I don't think it needs it. I might do a ceramic coat, but we'll see. And I don't know if you guys are interested in that. Comment down below and just say, yeah, we want to see you clean stuff. It's very satisfying. And I'll be like, word. I'll probably still post it anyway, just because I think it's cool and I enjoy doing it. But if you guys made it this far, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching all the way through, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.